Welcome. Today, we're going to unpack the emotional heart of Shashi Deshpande's powerful short story, My Beloved Charioteer. It's an incredible look at a family that's bound by love, but absolutely silenced by grief.
And this question right here, it's really the key to the whole story. It explores a family living together in a house that is just overflowing with tender affection, but at the same time it's suffocating under this deep, unspoken silence. This one question sets the stage for everything that follows.
Okay, so let's dive in and meet the women at the center of this world. We're talking 3 generations whose lives are all tangled up by love, grief, and, well, the ghosts of a very, very silent past.
So we experience this whole story through the eyes of Aji, the grandmother, and man, she is in such a tough spot. She's doing this constant balancing act, right? On one side, you've got her daughter, Arti, who is just completely lost in her grief. And on the other, you have her granddaughter, Preeti, who's this little spark of light and, as we'll see, a surprising source of strength in their incredibly quiet home.
So how deep does this tension really run? Well, you don't have to look any further than their daily routine. It's a total study in contrasts, and it shows you exactly how fractured this home truly is.
I mean, it's incredible. Arti is literally living in 2 separate worlds, but under the same roof. When she's with Preeti, her mornings are just alive, you know? They're full of these little secret whispers and fun arguments over tea. But then, the second Arti wakes up, it's like a switch just flips. All that light vanishes, and it's replaced by this thick, heavy silence and tea that's just swallowed down in hungry gulps. So bleak.
And Aji's grief, it's not just in her head. It's like a physical thing in the house. The story has this amazing line. It says, "She hides her sorrow like a dog its bone." She just refuses to let her mother in. And because of that, there's this huge, unbreachable wall between them, and Aji feels completely helpless on the other side of it.
And that's really the tragedy at the heart of their relationship. Aji feels every single bit of her daughter's pain, a connection she says she's had since Arti was in the womb. But, and this is the painful part, she knows that anything she does to try and help, any word she says is just going to backfire and make everything even worse.
But you know, a silence that heavy, it can't last forever. Something's got to give. And now we get to the critical turning point of the whole story, where one simple little accident is about to force years of suppressed emotion to just boil over. So Arti spends her afternoons hiding out in her late father's room. Aji has kept it exactly as he left it, almost like a shrine. But the story gives us this tiny little clue. It says the room has a neglected look. It's this subtle crack that hints that maybe the past isn't as perfect as it seems. And then it happens. Arti gets startled by her mom, and bam! She knocks over her father's photograph. The glass cracks, and that sound, that image, it's so much more than just broken glass, right? It's the sound of the family's breaking point. The whole facade they've been maintaining is about to completely splinter. And in that moment, Aji just snaps. The quiet, dutiful Aji unleashes a harshness that completely stuns her daughter. This is not the mother Arti knows. And with those words, the fragile piece of the house is shattered for good. What happens next is, wow, it's honestly one of the most powerful monologues in modern Indian literature. An entire lifetime of silence, of duty, of pain, just comes pouring out of Aji. Aji starts by revealing the painful truth of her 25-year marriage to the man Arti idolized. See, it wasn't a partnership, not at all. It was a performance where even the most natural human emotion, like grief over losing her baby boys, had to be hidden away. She keeps going, describing a relationship totally devoid of affection, built completely on duty and obedience. There was no romance, no partnership, just commands. And here's the brutal, transactional truth of their intimacy. It's such a cold reality, and it just completely dismantles Arti's idealized image of her parents' marriage and the father she worshipped. In this one devastating moment, Arti is forced to see her mother not just as a caregiver, but as a person, a woman who has endured her own silent, profound, and invisible suffering for decades. And Aji's monologue ends with this desperate plea for connection. After all the pain, all the revelations, it all just boils down to this: a mother's cry to finally be seen and understood by her own daughter. So, where does this earth-shattering confrontation leave them? Well, the story's title actually points us to the hidden source of strength that made this whole moment of truth possible.
Right in the middle of the most difficult moment of her life, as she's finally confronting her past, Aji feels the presence of her granddaughter, Preeti. It's Preeti's innocent love that's actually giving her the courage to finally speak her truth.
And think about it. What is a charioteer? In mythology, they're not just a driver. They're a trusted companion who guides a hero through the chaos of battle. And for Aji, in this moment of personal warfare, that guide is her granddaughter, Preeti. So after the storm of the confession, the house falls silent again. But this time, it's Preeti's voice that breaks it. Her innocent call, "Aji, I'm home," just rings through the house, promising a new beginning and, for the very first time, a real chance for them to heal.
In the end, this story leaves us with some pretty powerful truths. It shows us that emotional honesty, even when it's painful, is a profound act of love. The true strength is so often found in vulnerability, and that the bond between generations can be this incredible source of courage right when we need it most.
And that leaves us all with a question to carry with us. In the great battles of our own lives, who is that quiet voice urging us on? Who is our beloved charioteer?